Record too loud. Hey there, Keishorne. So tell us a little bit about your Instagram platform and tell us your Instagram name as well and what it is that you do.
My Instagram name is Keishorne Scott. That's my real name.
Awesome.
People kind of butcher my name because they say Keishorne. So it's Keishorne Scott. So now
I
everybody's
think I
pronouncing
did that. I
Keishorne.
apologize.
You're one of the people who butchered it. But my Instagram page is just a reflection of my life, my experiences, and who I am as an individual.
Mhm.
What I do is just I speak facts. I speak what I've lived. I don't speak anything counterfeit, phony, or fake. I speak everything that I've been through, everything that I've walked through, everything that I've endured or experienced, or even the things that I grew from, that made me the man I am today.
Wow. Okay. So you really focus in on relationships though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Relationships, motivation, and self help, but it all ties into to one another. People think that relationship is just marriage or relationships with a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a relationship. No, a relationship could be anything from human to human contact. You can even have a relationship with a dog because people are dog lovers and they keep dog at a high expectation as human beings. And when they do cry, they emotionally cry because they miss that dog or they miss that pet or that, that person, that thing that was with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I've watched a couple of your videos on Instagram, and you're primarily on Instagram, correct?
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And
Okay.
I have a new app out too, so I'll be on my app sometimes.
No, yeah, yeah. Tell us
Yeah.
about the app. Tell us about the app.
It's still it's like an extension. It complements all my social media networks. So my videos, my quotes, it's easy to contact me, read my blogs, check out my photos, know what events I'm at, book me, and certain criteria. It's another avenue to reach another platform, other audience.
Yeah. So why did you choose to do this via social media?
Because social media is what's growing, it's what's booming.
Yeah.
And I do it off and on social media. But social media, the platform is so large and you can reach just a lot of people at once.
Mhm.
And not only reach them, but they can share with somebody who's going through a similar experience or dilemma. For example, if somebody's hurting from a breakup and they cannot heal correctly, and I'm a caring, loving friend that you should be, then you'll share that video with a friend and then you can make it viral and you could actually heal thousands or millions without even touching them, without even sitting in front of them, without even meeting them. But they know that you exist and that you care.
I love it. I love it. And I say that same analogy, so I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that, is that kind of the reason why you do it, or what is your reason? What's your why?
My wife, for why I give back a piece of my heart to other people is because I was a once damaged soul. And I was from two platforms. I was the one doing the damaging, and then I was the one being damaged.
Oh, wow.
So I speak to people on both different aspects of it. I was that poor boyfriend who didn't know how to be a boyfriend, the one who didn't know how to love, who took a woman for granted, who didn't know how to accept love, who didn't know anything about the requirements of being in love, time, love, attention, appreciation, everything that all the prerequisites
Yeah.
for being in a relationship. I did not embody any of that. And or as a result of that, my heart was broken once when I was engaged before. So it woke me up. It woke me up to the point where I was like, okay, wow, Keishorne, you're not a man. You're a boy. You were never a man. So it's time to allow God to reconstruct your mind, reconstruct your spirit, and reconstruct who you are in order for you to walk like him, talk like him, and really become the man that you're talking about. Because I felt like I was a hypocrite because I was speaking about relationships like about 4 years ago. But a lot of people didn't know. I took like a year break and then I came back. And then when I came back, I wasn't in a relationship, but then, things, went really smoothly. Then I got into a relationship, I got engaged, I got married. I did it the right way and the honest, beautiful way. But it took me realizing that I wasn't a man, that I was a boy, that I wasn't that person that I spoke highly of. I didn't even know me. The same people say real recognize real. I did not recognize who I was. So a lot of people, when they come to me and they say, hey, Keishorne, you're the same old Key. No, I'm not the same old Key because I didn't even know the same old Key. I didn't even know the old me. So you can't say that, I know the old me because I didn't even know that. All I know is the me right now and the me that I'm working towards. So everything that I write, everything that I wrote is pretty much, that's a good question. It's me speaking to my old self. telling my old self, yo, listen, this is what you need to learn. But I wasn't listening back then. So I think that's a really good way of seeing it.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think it comes around full circle and you end up speaking to your younger self again, but it's embodied in other people, right? It's other people that relate to that.
Yep.
So that's awesome. I love that. So what happened to you that kind of jarred you out? Did you like get dumped and you was like, oh no, like, what happened?
I was one of those boyfriends who thought that I had it all together. Like, she will never leave me. I got this locked down. She ain't going nowhere. She need me more than I need her.
Gotcha.
Reality hit. God took her away. Things didn't work out. She broke up with me. She's like, you know what? This is not going to work. I was like, all right, whatever. Weeks passed. Like, this is for real now? And we weren't texting or calling each other whatsoever. It was over. And I found myself crying and couldn't eat. Everything that people say a woman experienced during a heartbreak, men experience that same exact thing too. Because I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't breathe. I had my covers over my head, my face buried in a pillow. I was sad. I was depressed, everything. And what put the icing on the cake was a simple fact that she started dating her boss after that. So when she started dating her boss after that, I felt like I was cheated on.
Yeah.
So now a whole bunch of a lot of things start floating in my mind now. So I start thinking different things. And that's when I started healing. I realized that, okay, even if I was a poor boyfriend and I really understood that, as a man, you have to take responsibility for your action. You have to know where you failed at in order to learn. It's like failing a test. You would not pass the test again if you didn't restudy where you made your errors at. So I found out where I made my errors at, and I tried to become a better man. And it took me about 2-3 years to get over that relationship. Wow. People, it's hard. It was hard. It was because even after the first year, you still want that person to call you. You still want to hear that person's voice. If that person says, yeah, you want to get back together, even if it's a yeah, you're going to say, yeah, I want to get back together. Definitely. Because you're not fully healed yet. And I guess that's a part of you that just want to settle because you don't really embody how important you are to that person. How important you are to that person, how meaningful you are as a person, how valued you are. When you don't realize that, then you're gonna start taking steps backwards and start repeating a lot of mistakes in your life. And I got to the point where you got to get to the point where it's like, I won't go back, despite my hurt, despite how hard it's going to be, despite sleeping alone, crying alone, standing alone in the rain. I will not sacrifice my heart, my values, and who I am to go back into something so toxic, knowing the outcome already. Because a lot of us know the outcome already. We just fail to understand that because we want to be loved rather than we want to be alone. And being alone is so drastic. It's so devastating. And people die for this because breakups feel like dying. Like you ever been through a breakup? It feels like you're literally dying. And a lot of people die for this, literally.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what really transformed me.
Yeah, dying from a broken heart. Yeah, definitely. But like you said, going back into a toxic relationship is even worse. So, right? It's like being comfortable and staying in that comfortability, even though it hurts so much, it hurts so good, right? Yeah. That whole thing that it hurts so good, but you know that's no good for you. So at what point did God kind of enter your life? What point did you start to seek out something higher and above yourself to help you heal and to fulfill, to move forward?
That's interesting because that's my next point. When I was going through my whole entire, transformation, the transition from, hurt to healing, my friends who I don't even think were Christians at the time, they kept on saying, hey, why don't you read the Bible? No, people find healing in the Bible. Won't you go to church? And I was like, man, I don't want to hear it because when you're going through something, you want to hear some instant gratification. You do not want any kind of like prolonging healing. I don't want to wait 4 months. I want to be healed now. I feel sick. You feel like throwing up. I want some remedy. So a week passed. I opened up the Bible and I read a scripture. It said, God is close to the brokenhearted and heal the crushed in spirit. And when I read that one, I was like, wow, like, what does that even mean? I started digging a little bit more, started listening to some more, some gospel songs, I Trust You, and a lot of other songs. I don't know off the top of my head anymore, but it was years ago. And I felt a comfort. And then I said, you know what? My friend was going to church. He was like, yo, Keishorne, come with me. I was like, all right, let me go. So I went with him. And at that moment, right? The pastor was praying for me, and she told me one thing in my ear. She was whispering in my ear. She said, Keishorne, you need to run. Okay, this is your race, so run. It's going to be hard, but you need to keep running. You can't stop, you can't look back, and you got to run. I'm just, sugarcoating everything that she was saying, but pretty much she was saying run. And she kept on screaming that in my ear, run, run. And I didn't understand that until when I went outside that day. Whew, that's crazy. I remember this. But I went outside, and me and my friend was walking down Jamaica, something Boulevard in Queens, right? It was in Queens. And I was like, she called me. I was like, hey, what's up? She's like, oh, nothing. I was saying how you was doing or whatever it is. Because I think I called her and I said something the other night, last night. I texted me stupid the previous night. And I was like, I'm good. And then she was like, oh, okay. I'm like, what you doing? She's like, oh, I'm out with my man right now. And then at that moment, I realized, like, why am I even holding on to you? You're moved on. You're gone. And then and then that night, I don't think I ever spoke to her for like a year or two. I just focused on me. I finished like a book, one of my books. Then I just started like building. And me, I'm a type of person, if something happened to me and I want to make you feel like you lost something. So I will do whatever it takes to be extremely successful, because I want you to see that I'm doing better without you. And that's the truth. And it's like a hobby.
Yeah.
They want to know that you're doing good. And to this day, I'm doing amazing. And she follows me on Instagram. She even shares my stuff. She got friends that shares my stuff, and her friends tag her in my post.
Oh no!
And then it's like, and then she will, and it was like a year ago. She's like, oh, I know him. She's like, oh no, you don't know. I was like, yeah, that was my ex-boyfriend. And she's like, oh my God, word. And then I was the full conversation on my post, amongst like other 150, 200 comments. I'm like, okay, good. And I don't feel nothing. It feels good when you move on from something and you know that it's real, that you could move on. So you got to let people know that, like, yo, listen, I've been there, I've done that, and you could move on. You could heal. You could smile again. You could laugh again. You could go to sleep without any stress on your mind. And there is somebody out there to love you and be there for you and to care you and to just, to trust again. You could be able to trust again.
It's all about that whole relationship of being able to move forward, but also utilizing what you have already, right? Mm-hmm. Utilizing and knowing that they can get better. So I want you to speak a little bit to, and then I'll ask you one more question. I want you to speak a little bit to specifically African-American women who feel as though they need to be hurt in order for it to be a real relationship. Because I know you've probably come amongst that or come into that where a lot of women are like, hey, because I'm going to speak, and I'm dating myself a little bit, but back in the 90s, it was like, oh, I need a thug, I need a roughneck, and that was what you needed. A man didn't love you unless he was rude to you, type of thing. So I want you to speak to that and how you've touched on it a bit, but how you overcame, I don't need to be hurt in order to be loved. It actually is the opposite. So speak to that a bit.
Like, for example, right? When I was, sometimes people use their hurt as a way of telling people, like, I don't need to be in a relationship because everybody's the same. And a lot of people fall into that mindset that everybody is the same, because typically you're searching for men in the same places that you got hurt, in the same place that you got hurt. I know people who dated a man, right? And then she dated his friend, and they both did the same thing that you did. And in my mind, it's like, you dated his friend. Don't you think that will be a representation of the guy that you dated before? So it all comes to your mindset, I believe. Like, to answer the question, I think it comes to your mindset and you knowing what a relationship is about. What do you need out of a relationship? And you have to meet the requirements of your requirements, because a lot of people is asking for things that they cannot offer in a relationship. I want somebody who's faithful. I want somebody who's trustworthy. I want somebody without baggage. I want somebody who's going to rub my feet, do my whatever it may be. But you're not willing to do that for the person. You just want that for you because you've been hurt so many times. All you want right now is to be loved, because you forgot completely on how to give love, because when you gave love, you was taken advantage of. So for once, in your mind, you're like, you know what? For once, I just want to be loved. I just want to be, and then I comes in your mindset, and you forget about we, or even to serve. So you just completely, erase the thought of what you used to do for the other boyfriend. You used to love him, you used to take care of him. But he never used to give you, he never used to fill your love tank. That's what he never did. But now you got somebody who's willing to fill your love tank, but you don't know how to give love because now a little piece of you is afraid. You're afraid that if I do that, it might be a little bit too much and I might go back into the same pit I was in before. But that's not the case, because you need to open up your mind to possibilities that everybody is not the same. And just because you have your criteria is on a piece of paper, it doesn't mean that God won't give you somebody completely opposite that's going to make you happy than what you had down on a piece of paper. Because when I wanted a wife, my friends, we went to church one day and I wrote down a list, right? The list had everything that I wanted from my wife. And I was very, very blessed because I got every single thing. People think I'm joking, but I had an interview with a lady from who interviews with the Oscars, right? Her name was Dana. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering her name. But yeah. So she was telling me, about the relationships or whatever it is. And we had a really, really good conversation about that. And I was mentioning to her, I was saying everything that I put down on that piece of paper was exactly what it is. And it's only through prayer and me saying, you know what, even if I don't get that, that's just me saying, what I want into detail. But we serve a specific God. So I also believe that if you have a specific, but you're not really arrogant with it, like I want this person to be this, you got to be really cool with it and adjustable with whatever you want, because you do deserve to get what you want. You do deserve to get what you want, but not exactly I want this exactly. And if I don't get this, I'm not settling for no, because there are great people that you're overstepping because you have this one person in mind. Like this one, I want this thug guy who right there, who's going to love me, but still have that little gangster side to it. Every woman wants to be protected. You just got to pray for a man who's strong in his manhood, who knows how to be a man, because you could still get a nice guy, but who knows how to be a man, who's not taken lightly and, don't get twisted, but he's, that kind of guy. But then again, he knows how to love you, cater to you, feed you, nurture you, and be that rock for you. But it all boils down to your mindset and what you think that you deserve. And you have to erase that mindset that that men exist.
Yeah, and I think it's also perception too, right? Perception of what we perceive things to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he could be, looking like that, but then he knows how to take care of a woman. But on the opposite end, you can have someone that's completely, for lack of better words, like geeky with the glasses and everything, but then turn around and they want to beat you. So it's all about perception as well. So I think that's great. It's a great point. And I love everything you just said. So moving into the digital media and social media aspect of everything, what are some of the different ways, or what are some of the tools that you can offer to the audience on growing their audience, on speaking their message, like you said, because you utilize your message to heal, but what if someone else has a message of just motivational or inspirational or what have you? What are some of the tips that you can offer to them?
One thing that you said in the beginning was you have to find your strong enough why. You have to know why you're doing this. You have to know why you're doing this, why you are in motivation, why you are in makeup, what kind of energy does it give you? If you were doing it for free, would you still do it? Is it a passion, or is it just something that you're trying to get money from? If it's a passion, then you'll keep doing it consistently without funds being given to you. If it's for money, then you'll stop if money stops flowing in. I've been doing this for years and was not accepting any money until I started getting bookings for 2000. I remember my first $1,000 gig. It was in 2010. And I was like, they paid me $1,000 to speak at this, to go to, it was an all boys school called Fessenden, and it was in Boston, Fessenden all boys school. And I was like, oh snap, $1,000 to speak for like an hour? I'm like, all right. But then as you start getting $2,000, you start getting more, it becomes natural that, okay, cool, now I got to get better. Because I do remember my first speaking engagement where I froze on stage and it was free, and I stood up there and was in New Post College and I was standing up there and I'm like, and I just froze. And then my friend down there, he's like this, yo, man. And he told me the lines, like, yo, I was like, okay, good. And then I started speaking and then everybody started clapping and I'm like, oh, shoot. And then I just sat down and it was embarrassing, because I didn't know how to speak at that moment. I thought that I need to write everything down on a piece of paper and I need to read off exactly what that paper means. Not knowing that I should have bullet points, or I got to be embodied by this. to the point where I don't need nothing. Somebody could tell me, come speak somewhere, and I just know it from the top of my head because this is what I study, this is what I eat, and this is how I embody it. This is what I've done. So the first thing I would say is know your why. Then after your why, know your audience, because you cannot sell, like for example, Jay said, you can't sell water to a whale. I don't know, people say whale or well, it doesn't matter. Both of them make sense. But, yeah. But I'm gonna use the point where it says you can't sell water to a whale. A whale lives in water. You can't sell water to what they already have. So you got to know who you're marketing to. You can't be marketing to every single body. You can't be friends. You can't promote with every single body because you're just losing money. And what I realized is that when you find your target market, your niche, and you find out that specific people, what they age, 15 to 25, what you call it? Let me see. For motivation, people who's lacking motivation at work, so you know that I want to speak at corporate organizations, businesses, because that's who I'm targeting. So now when you tailor your message, your press kit, your media kit, or whatever, your speaker one sheet, whatever it is, you're tailored to that specific audience. So now when you send it to these people, you know exactly that, okay, my likelihood of hiring me will be specific. It's like a resume. You don't send a cleaner resume to a place that's hiring you for sales. They're going to be, okay, well, we don't need you for sales. We can use you as a maintenance. Yeah. So it's different. That was number 2. Another one is look the part. I like appearance is key. I was wearing suits before, a long time ago. Appearance is key. You have to market to your crowd. I realized that a lot of times I used to wear like suits or a tie in my videos, but it really wasn't doing too well until I started wearing hoodies and like other outfits. And when I realized the other outfits, I started getting it because they say I'm late. They see me as laid back, cool guy, just talking about relationships, married, but still at his events he could wear a tie, but he's not always in that. So he's like kind of diverse, but he's down to earth like me. And then being Christian, when you hear a Christian guy preaching, they want to see a tie, maybe a feather in your head. They want to see you looking fancy. But when they see a Christian male guy, down to earth, black man, fitted on, not even a fitted on, because I don't barely wear fitteds in my videos, but a hoodie on, looking cool, laid back, just talking. Because my videos is different than everybody else's. Everybody else seems like they're preaching. I just be talking to how I'm talking right now. Yeah. And that's exactly how it is. And that's what people like to see, being genuine. So, and I say, it's more into detail than that, but it's more of knowing your market, knowing how to promote, learning how to sell yourself, because people don't really buy the product, they buy you. Because I realize there's people with poor books out there, but they have a great personality, they have a great self-image, and they make a lot of sales because of their personality. And even if it's speaking, if you want to be a motivational speaker, don't be like everybody else. Forget everybody else. Only be you. I remember, I used to be me listening. I remember when Eric Thomas in 2010, he had like about 5,000 views on his YouTube video, right? And my ex showed me that video. She's like, oh, look at this guy. He's a motivational speaker. So I looked at him. I was like, he's all right. He's good. 4 years after that, Eric Thomas blew up crazy. From the same video I seen. And I'm like, wow. That one video, that one thing blew you up. Yeah. So you can't work on many different things at once. You could, but always one is going to have your main attention. It's like a guy having multiple girlfriends. You're not going to pay all those girlfriends the same attention. Yeah. One is going to be the highlight. Right. That's what you're always going to be with. You want everything else is going to be, okay, I'm going to talk to you for 15 minutes, but that one person will go get a full hour. Yeah. But that's how you're supposed to be.
From experience, I don't know about that end, but
yeah, I'm just saying, it is.
Right?
That's how it is.
Right? Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
It is, but you have to know how to, give your time. For example, like Kevin Hart, he could branch out to other stuff now because he was known for one thing, comedian. Yeah. Steve Harvey, he was a comedian as well, but he could branch out to other things. And there's many other people that was known for one thing, one main, big, huge thing. And then when they were very successful now, they could branch out to other things.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes it easier for them.
No, I love it. Yeah. And I think
you just have to build your platform.
What's so crazy to me is the fact that you said that it changed, the dynamic changed once you took off the suit and everything and you just yourself. So at what point did you just say, I want to hear about that experience. I want to hear about you waking up one day or however it happened. And you were just like, okay, I'm gonna just do a video like this, So what exactly took place?
I think it was really doing research on what people is responding to. because that goes back to business, what people respond to. And it's cool, but you got to be comfortable as well when you're doing your videos and when you're doing stuff too. I had a Instagram business partner who I was working with, and she was giving me a lot of input. She said, "Oh, try this, try that." And I was looking at other people's videos and what they were doing and comparing and contrasting. I'm like, ain't nobody in no damn suit, hot looking, sweating in a suit, talking about relationship for 30 seconds to a minute. Right? Let me just throw on a hoodie and be comfortable and just be myself. Yeah. And I realized, like, when I started being myself and I started getting, a lot of followers, more followers, and I went from I got like 10, 20,000 in like a couple of months. And They kept on growing and growing and growing, and people started sharing my videos. Some of my videos hit like 1 million. Some of them was like 400,000. Some of them, and they kept on growing like that. And then I realized that you need to always do. That's why I love the analytics on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, because you can see what people is working on. I mean, what's working and what's not working. Because what's working for you may not be working. What's working for everybody else. Mm-hmm. A lot of people talk about relationships. We have a lot of great people. We have Tony Gaskins, who he also forwarded my book before. You know, my first book, when I gave it to him on Twitter, I hit him up on Twitter. He was like, "Oh, snap, Keishorne, this is a great book." He's like, I'll write a quote for you. No problem. I was like, all right, great. And then you have Stephen Speaks, who's also another great guy. You know, there's many other people out there who's doing great things. But everybody, what they're doing is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're your own person. You're your own unique person. And there's a majority of people who's doing relationship stuff is not married. You know, a lot of them are not married. And then what sets me apart is that I am married, and I see that a lot in my posts. People are always great to see that you're married and you're doing it. You succeeded it. And a lot of my fans, they've been through the transition and knew my ex and what I've been doing or whatever it is. And then they see what happened. So a lot of people believe, and that's how I gain a lot of clients as well, because I'm trustworthy. I don't just talk about it, I'm in it. You know, and I sell my experiences and my lifestyle through my videos, like me playing my daughter, me playing my wife, me playing my family. I sell a lot of my lifestyle through that. And when people see that, it's like, okay, this guy is normal. He's like me. He's been through something like me. So I'd rather, give this guy a chance. And, I trust him, because it's all about trust. If they don't trust you, they won't believe in you. And when you go through a lot of the comments, you start questioning yourself, like, I'm really like that. I'm really that good. Or I just think it's a regular video. But to other people, you just save their entire life. I got messages from people who said they was about to commit suicide, but they love my videos. And I got a lot of those. And those are the people who I don't even charge for coaching. I just call you, what's your number, immediately, and just have a conversation with you. Because I'm not here for the money, and I'm here to save your life. And there's a lot of people there's people who say they hit up many people and nobody responded. And they told me all the list of names who never respond because they feel like they're so high, they're famous, or you're this, you're that. No, I'm just a regular person who was given a platform to speak to people and was blessed with more people who can share my word and just keep blessing people. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's who I am. I'm not nobody fancy, famous, no popular person. It doesn't matter. But when you fall into that trap, that's when you start forgetting about the real reason why we're doing this. And that's to serve people and to serve their hearts and to make sure that they survive. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And that's exactly why I decided to do more in the digital space, because of that, for that one reason. Because we need to highlight and spotlight, and that's another reason why I reached out to you, individuals that actually care. And I think that's the difference. It's the difference between the individual that's out there and putting the information out there and saying that they care, but not really acting on it and not really showing up, right? It's about showing up and being there when when these people out here need you, because we have so much negativity that happened in this digital space that I definitely wanted to bring some positivity to it. So I love everything you just said. Any last thoughts? Anything else you want to share with us before we go here?
Nothing really. I just want to let people know that there's people out there who care about your heart and what you were doing. You're doing something amazing when you connected people and you're sharing other people's vision and what they really think a relationship is. And other people could find these people, and you never know who it may be me, it might not be me, it might be somebody else that you're interviewing that might relate to that person's circumstances and what they're going through. And that person may, find a healing through that person. Just, my message to people is to don't ever give up, keep moving forward, keep striving for the best. Never think that you're not good enough, you're not beautiful, you're not amazing, you're not special in order to receive love because your past was dark or your past or your ex told you otherwise. you have to, keep moving forward, keep marching forward, and have faith in yourself and in love, and know that, things might not be the brightest right now, but one day it's going to be the clearest.
I love it. So I'm going to wait on that book called Keep Running.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much. Oh, tell everyone where they can find you. Where can they find you?
KeishorneScott.com, KeishorneScott, and that's on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere. Keishorne Scott.
Nice. Awesome. Yes. All right. So we just need to do one more little media bite, and you just basically say this is a medium, or it's a media mix production, right? That's what we said, Walker? Okay. Media mix production.
Hey, Walker. Okay.
This is my husband.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Can you hear him?
I can't hear him.
Oh, come here. Come say hi.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Let me virtually shake your hand, man.
He's in New York, your favorite place.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he wants to go to New York. Okay, cool. Yeah, so just say a media mix production. My name is Keishorne Scott, and this is a media mix production, and then we're done.
All right, media what?
Media mix.
Mix it. All right, so this is Keishorne Scott, and this is a media mix production. Okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I can edit it, so it's all good. Thank you so much.